So today I'll just go over a quick review of what I'm working on. I've been working on the stock market model to make predictions for the market. It has 3 parts to it. I changed this. It really has 2 parts now, so this doesn't exist anymore. But I'm training a return predictor. Maybe I'll make a new slide to explain this. So overview. First, I have a stock universe, which is defined somehow. I use that to train a returns model, which will predict the probability of a positive return. Let's make this a big arrow so we can put some writing in it. And then finally, I have a portfolio model. I'll just copy this. Get rid of that. Okay, so I'm defining a stock universe, using that to train a returns model, and then using that to develop a portfolio strategy. And so I've already gone through getting all the data. I'm using free data. If you're interested in this project and want to do this for yourself, you can go to my GitHub. It's in the description. I think I put it in the description, and it's right here. And so you can see here there's a lot of files in here. You can also see that here. I have a whole ton of a lot of files. And so in these files, LGBM v5 and LGBM v6, I've got a these are the models here, LGBM files. And then I have different models or different strategies for defining the universe. So that's what these are doing right here. This has become a big mess of files, too many files to work with. And so now I'm focusing on getting all of this into this file. And this is going to contain different classes. The main classes here are this universe. Sorry, that's not it. This universe class, model class, and portfolio class. And so these are the workhorses. Up here I've defined the filters. So the goal is to get all of this into a single model, and then I can test out different models. And then document the results. And so previously in LGBM v5 and GetStats v4, I got a model that worked, and I found that the fewer number of picks I'm making, the better it does. So this is 500 picks, 100 picks, 50 picks, 20 picks, 10, 5, 2, 1. And you see there's a very clear trend. It performs better the fewer number of picks that I'm making in the portfolio strategy. And then this kind of verifies that. You want a Sharpe ratio above 1. That's kind of the hallmark of a decent portfolio. And the only one that has a Sharpe ratio above 1 is if I'm making 1 pick every day. And so then I messed around with stuff and tried to look at how different thresholds doing 1 pick. And I got actually a really high Sharpe ratio, 2.5. and that's this purple line here. So it's the worst performing, but it's the strongest model. You can see that it doesn't suffer these extreme drawdowns. Like this drawdown was really bad, not as bad in purple, and other than that, there's not really many drawdowns. Whereas the red model had a huge drawdown here, and even the blue model had a big drawdown, which hurt the Sharpe ratio. So yeah, after doing this, the other thing is the returns model only gets 51.5% returns. The real thing that I'm going to focus on once I get these classes built up is getting a returns model that gives me 53% or better. And so I made this timeline for finishing the script. I'm behind on the timeline. This is the first thing. So I was supposed to finish this by February 4th, but I'm still working on the universe class. So let me remind, oh right, so I improved the data retrieval, but it still doesn't match exactly. And so then the question is why. So I'm going to be working on that today. If I get the universe class to work, I'll move on to work on the model class. Okay. So the question is, why am I not returning the same exact universe? Clean analysis. Let's put this here. Oh, actually, I want that here so I can compare it to get data v4. So the filters that are going on. Okay, so let's run it real quick. So clean tests, here are the filters, advanced stats, price, and top liquidity. So price filter, I changed around yesterday. I was doing it differently in here. So price filter. Default method is close price. If method is this, do all this crap. Otherwise, we're gonna filter where the close is above min price. Oh, okay, so that's the difference here. Oh no, this is just getting the last day of the previous month. So that should work. So, all right, let's think. So the price filter is working the same. The min price is 5. So advanced stats filter, I might be doing the max crash wrong. Max crash. Let's look at where max crash is used. Self.max crash. If annual return is less than self.max crash. Okay, so max crash, I think it should be 0.5. I think what's happening is it's not filtering this out. Because I'm getting slightly more entries when I look at the universe it gets here. So let's see if that fixes it. I was doing negative, but it should be 0.5. Oh, oops, this is the wrong script. I'm in the wrong directory. Stock market tool. Now let's go Python 3, clean tests.py. Now I'm going to listen to some music. Oh, I also have to update the Bitcoin trade, which got killed today. But I'm updating from the open, so that won't totally come through. Let me do that right now. So this morning, 2/6/2026. And that's who did I steal from? Price tag on making the world feel some. Bitcoin keeps going up. We're up at 71,000 now. Alright, IBIT put is worth 1225. Oh, that's the current price. I just opened up a can of those. Alright, at market open it was 12.95. So still up from the previous day. Bitcoin price at market open was 67,815. So this looks better than it is because Bitcoin flew up today. Yesterday it crashed below 60,000. Today right now it's at 71,000. It's fighting to retain 71,000. Oh, it's bounced off a couple times. Yeah, it's bounced off of 71,000 a couple times. It goes just above and falls back down. So went up to like 71,400, 71,500. Now it's falling down. But if it's testing 71,000, bouncing between 70 and 71. Okay. My house is full of supermodels just like Muhammad Hadid. Alright, so let's look at test universe data. And then test. Oh, looks the same. Test equals test universe data dot drop. So I dropped the Hearst 1 year. Oh, test universe data is not getting the Hearst 1 year. Oh no. That's right. Universe data is what we want. Huh? Now it has 1,000,000 rows. Alright. So let's pull up Google AI Studio. No more than one. Baby, 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 baby. Alright, help me troubleshoot this problem. The results returned by my universe class defined in I'm out at Brooklyn. Now I'm down in Tribeca, right next to De Niro. Clean analysis. .py and returned in inside of clean tests.py does not match those returned by get data v4.py. I need them to be exactly the same before I can move forward. What is wrong? Am I defining the filters properly? Do I have a logic error? Welcome to the melting pot. Corners where they selling rock. Here is the output from 8 million stories out there in the naked from the debugger. If she's paying LeBron, I'm paying Dwayne Wade. 3 dice Zelo, 3 Carl Marley. Explain what you think the issue is. Provide justifications. Then come up with a solution. These streets will make you feel brand new. The lights will inspire you. Lights is blinding. Girls need blinders so they can step out of bounds quick. The sidelines is blind with catcher visa. Sick to light catch. You're leading gradually become worse. Don't bite the apple eve. Caught up in the in crowd. Now you're in style. And then it gets cold in vogue with your skin out. What is the error here? Why would I add a breakpoint? Everybody ride her just like a bus route. Hail Mary to the city, you're a virgin, and Jesus can't save you. Life starts when the church ends. Came here from school, graduated to the high life. Ball players, rap stars, addicted to the limelight. The city never sleeps, finna chip you a champion. Jungle where dreams. Oops, wrong file. Clean analysis, clean test, get data. The lights will inspire you. Lights is blinding. Girls need blinders so they can step out of bounds quick. The sidelines is blind with catastrophes. A sick to light catch. You're leading gradually become worse. Don't bite the apple eve. All my exes live in Texas like I'm George Strait. Or they go to Georgia State where tuition is handled by some random nigga that live in Atlanta. Happy I made it. Told her I love her. Could make for better pictures. No hell of a mixture. You have 3 specific problems causing the discrepancy. The most critical error is a logic inversion in your crash filter, causing you to filter out stable stocks. Get the fuck up out my dressing room. Do you love this shit? Am I high right now? Are you single? And I say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, fucking right, alright. And you say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah, fucking right, alright, So I hold my breath. Now let's see if they're closer. I want to get it to what I had last night. They're pretty close, just slightly off. Yeah, 252,000 rows, test. 250,000. So let's take out the Hearst filter here because I don't want Hearst data yet. Get the fuck up out of my dressing room. Do you love this shit? Do you ever get nervous? Are you single? You think your wit is with you? And I say, hell yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Fucking right. Alright, let's find where IP.isNan is in here. Gangsta. Banana. Yeah, money. I know way too many people here right now that I didn't know last year. Who the fuck are y'all? I swear it feels like the last few nights. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing me. I'm doing right now, man. And this what I'ma do till it's over. Bottles on me. Okay, so I want to use greater than or equal to. Money ship is never sinking. About to set it off in this bitch, Jada Pinkett. I shouldn't have drove. Tell me how I'm getting home. You too fine to be laying down in bed alone. I can teach you how to speak my language, Rosetta Stone. I swear this life is like the sweetest thing I've ever known. About to go Thriller Mike Jackson on these. All I need's a fucking red jacket with some zippers. Super good, Smitto. Oh, clean analysis. Y'all know them. Well, fuck it, me either. But point the biggest skeptic out, I'll make him a believer. Bitch, y'all running a. Who the fuck are y'all? I swear it feels like the last few nights. We've been everywhere and back, but. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm doing me. I'm living life right now, man. And this is what I'ma do till it's over. But it's far from over. When it hits, you feel no pain. And I swear I got that shit that made these bitches go insane. Start date equals that. Less greater than or equal to start date. Yeah, less than target start. Probably still be the man when everything is over. So I'm riding through my city with my high beams on. Treat me like a legend. Am I really this cold? I'm really too young to be feeling this old. It's about time you admit it, who you did it. Man, somebody ever done it like I did it. I just can't remember it all. Advanced stats. So I think this is the only time where I'm isolated. Start date was far from over. Yeah, that's right. I'm doing me. I'm living life right now, man. Yeah. So what about the other filters? Where does it say I'm doing that? Dot get universe for a month. Greater than or equal to. What was the other thing? Oh, this nan handling. Alright, so before we do the filters, volatility filter. Let me add a comment here. Thanks for watching. I work on this every day. Check out the GitHub repo in the description and subscribe if you're interested. Exclamation. Oh, that didn't cut anything else out. So what were the changes? Self.master df.date is greater than or equal to target date. Yeah. And then later, next month, so we're getting where data is greater than or equal to target date, and where data is less than next month. Yeah. So here we're getting master DF where the date is greater than or equal to the target date, and the date is less than the next month, and the account symbols in survivors. Huh. Let me run this one more time just to make sure. Where'd clean tests go? Get this out of here. Yeah, around, yeah. Those goosebumps every time, yeah. So maybe I'm using a different min history. Do I specify min history? Yeah. Oh no, I say is none. And get data v4, do I define minimum history? Doot doot doot. I get those goosebumps every time. Yeah, 713. So I'm getting more account symbols. Okay, so filter df. Get rid of those. Put that in here. And use this to calculate winners. Okay, now we can run it. Oh no. Oh, is that the same now? What's my name? What's my name? Alright, let's see. How do we... Oh, nah. What's my name? Alright, so let's reset the index, because I think that's going to cause them to be different. Okay, I'll do equals. Boy, I really wanna see if you can go downtown with a girl like me. Dot equals. And then we can say test false. Now test. We can see if it equals test dot reset index false. So how do I use this? Hey boy, I really wanna see if you can go downtown with a girl like me. Test. Shape mismatch. Oh. Reset index drop is equal to true. No, oops, don't want to save. The hell? Oh. Values are different, so I think that probably means just one is different. Or they're barely different. Oh. So why? So I think I'm ordering this by date. Sort by. Sort values. Oh, in here. Oh, so sort values. Here we're doing, so account symbol and date. All right, let's add that in here. And then explain myself. Okay, let's run the tests again. Give to me, give to me. This is your life. Damn, test, we didn't drop the index. We did drop, oh. So I just need to change it in here. Langos. Okay, here we go. pd.testing.assert frame equal test and universe data. So it's still saying date is different. Test.date. Hey, Sir Knight. Sir Knight. How are you? Thanks for tuning in. Yerp. What does that mean? Isn't that what people say to each other in Philadelphia? Yerp. So the date is still different. Clean analysis. Account symbol and date. Ascending equals true. So why is it still doing that? Account symbol and date. Oh, I'm still trying to get this universe class to work. Last night I was messing up. I was getting a different number of rows. So now I have the things are basically equal. I have the same number of rows. And the only thing that doesn't match is the date column, which you see here. But then if you look at the date, it's still ending in August. So that's because it's sorting by account symbol. But I just changed this. Did I not save it? Yeah. I don't know. Let me try running this again because I don't understand why the data frames, unless I didn't save this one. Oh, that's it. I didn't save the file. Okay, so I think I'm about to be done with the universe class. Physics. But physics, you kind of do everything. So I got really good at coding from doing physics. Or I would say I got really experienced at coding, doing physics. And then I'm just interested in markets. I've always been interested in the market. So I worked for a long time on making money in betting. And I did really well at one point, and then I lost all my money. And really, the betting markets, there's not really this higher purpose to it. Stock market, if you're making good picks in the stock market, if you're making good picks in the stock market, I think God likes that. If you're making good picks on betting, God either doesn't care or doesn't like that. Also, betting both can be manipulated, but the stock market, I can live with how it's manipulated. Betting, if some guy decides to cheat or something, that ruins it. Oh, they are equal. Universe data. Alright, let's see what it say here. Oh snap, what? I lost all my money. You test. Okay, so I'll just put this at the end of this. And say universe data dot equals test. Print. Or oh snap, because I got it. Yeah, well, yeah, it is the same thing. It's the same thing. Or you could call them both gambling. I call them both markets. That's a more positive. That gives, if you just call it a market, that gives sports betting a much more positive spin than calling it gambling. And same thing with the stock market. Yeah, it's all about finding an edge. I just think it's more worth my time to find an edge in the stock market. Also, way higher liquidity. If you get do you know about arbitrage betting? If you people develop good arbitrage betting strategies, but then the gambling sites have algorithms for detecting them, and so if they'll really quickly find out that you're arbitrage betting and shut your account down, which is stupid. How's your model coming, Sir Night Night? Are you making any progress? When do you work on it? Do you do it? Is this what you do for work? Are you a quant? There was a quant on Jeopardy last night, and he won. And I said, "Hey, I'm a quant." Okay, good. Let's update the PowerPoint. So 2/6/2026. Let's put in tomorrow. Got universe to work. Okay. I'll just say test is test universe. Arbitrage usually requires information that isn't available. You can arbitrage different sites against each other if you're fast enough, because the odds are changing, and Pinnacle is the sharpest book. So what people do is they'll get Pinnacle odds, and then if there's a mismatch between Pinnacle odds and your book, which used to happen all the time, but it happens less and less. But you can arbitrage Pinnacle versus your book. But then they have ways of detecting that. How do you... Oh, well, I don't know if you... I think one of the keys to life is just believe that you're the smartest guy ever and plow forward from there. Because I could say I'm not smart enough to be a quant. I guess I don't really consider myself a quant. If I get a good model working, I'll say, hey, I'm a quant now. But I don't know, I'm always surprised. I thought everyone in physics would be really smart, and there's a bunch of dumb people, so quants might be the same way. Wow, 3.5 years you've been working on this? That's impressive. I could never carry on a project for that long. That's why I'm trying to do it streaming, because it's like an extra incentive. That's impressive. 3.5 years, you must have a really developed model. Okay. These guys, let's change to red. This guy is now green. Finished on 2/6. Oh. This guy should be red too. Okay, now this is green. Finished on 2/7. So now I'm 3 days behind schedule. Oh, this I was gonna do by yesterday. But like I said, I gave myself 3 days of float, so we'll see. I'm probably not gonna finish the model class. Oh, but this means... Oh, I'm still 2 days behind. Yeah, okay. Okay, so now I need to build up the model class. Yeah. Is there a better way to track my progress? Comment if you think it's useful. I worked a job as a systems engineer for a little bit, and they use all these project management tools, and it's just like confusing to me. I like PowerPoints, they're simple. Physics, I'm a physics researcher. Plasma physics, it's like for fusion. Plasma physics for nuclear fusion. And so if nuclear fusion ever takes off, hopefully I could get in at a... My goal is to get in... I'm at a university lab right now, which means you make barely any money, but you get exposure to cutting-edge research, so that's worth it to me. Developing a robust model that can handle the many regimes that the market throws at you are really, really difficult. That's a reason prop trading firms... What's prop trading? Prop trading. I've heard that term before. Oh, using their own capital. Yeah, well, my dream is to be Jim Simons. That's a prop trading firm, right? Renaissance. All right. So into the coding universe. I guess universe is a bad term to use here, but into coding of the coding world. All right. So LGBM v5 is our good one. So what do we need here? We have pandas, we have numpy. Instead of putting this all in one file, is this gonna get too big? What am I at? Yeah, just the universe is 300 some odd lines. I don't know, 1,000 lines is fine. Okay, so we have pandas. We don't have light GBM. Okay, so I'm gonna nah, who cares? So let's get light GBM on Optuna. I have models that did really well for a while, and then the institutions changed their algos. Wow, really? Really? Well, that's probably good, I guess. And then once you... What do you mean mostly reading? On the market? That one book that I said yesterday that I got changed everything. Totally changed how I view the market. And now I realize I understand nothing about business. I need to learn about business. And yeah, what's a good book on the market I should read? What's a good reference? Something that's technical. I like technical stuff. We don't have matplotlib. We don't need that now. sklearn metrics. I guess I want to add. Yeah, whatever. I'll add that in. Gonna need matplotlib at some point. Yeah, what's a good one? What's the best one you've read? What's the one where you learned the most? I'm not even using OS. Warnings. Alright, so what's going on? First, we're loading data. We load the universe data. And then we can say define. So I'm still working on universe, but I just want to be able to pass a universe class. No, that's fine. I'll just pass a data frame. Okay, so when we initialize the model, we want to pass in universe data. And say self.data is equal to universe data. Really? Oh, I guess, well, if it's talking about specific things, fair enough. Mind over markets. This guy says it's mind-blowing. Is that you? Oh my god, $44 on Kindle? Why does it cost more on Kindle than it does on hardcover? I can't use Audible. I need to, what do you call that? Cancel my account, because, wow, 4.6 stars. $44 on Kindle is crazy. Hey, why is it more on Kindle than it is for the hardcover? Why would I get the Kindle? How do you bookmark this? I'll just write it down. And my nightstands are full of open Bibles. I think about more than I forget. Really? Wait, if he gave... Wait, what do you mean? What? That sounds like it's not good info if you proved it was wrong. This is not showing up well. I need a better pen. Mind over markets. Maybe they have a free PDF by Dalton. It taught me how to think about. I was just curious about the project tracking. I agree that project management can be a headache. Yeah, I'm just I thought maybe you were a project manager or something. Project management is not my strong suit, you could say. Okay, so first we read in the data. Okay, so now let's add something for... What is fundamental? No. I do want fundamental analysis. Fundamental analysis is kind of the really good, and I don't really know much about it. I know you look at the price to earnings ratio, but I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know what else to do. You look at financial statements basically. That's probably how you trade, right? Is fundamental analysis. If you're an accountant, you get all that stuff. It's just magic terms and numbers to me. Yeah, give me a good book. Give me a good book, Josh and Zola. That's what I need. Please. Book recommendations are always welcome. I could always not read it. But I need book recommendations. Tell me. I want to know. No, it was fantastic. It had a lot of good light bulb moments reading that book. Proving he was wrong on certain things was one of the best things that I ever did in trading. Yeah, okay, well, it sounds like you respect them. I'll see. Okay, that's a clue. Maybe you're giving away your edge. I'm going to read it and see where can I prove this guy wrong. I'll let you know how it goes. I'm definitely going to read that book. Okay, so let's add features. Okay, and then when you're doing this, you should be able to specify the features you want to add. So you want to add a feature and then how far back it looks. Okay, so what are the features I add here? Well, let's go ask the AI. Oh, it talks about building a framework. That's what I like, is framework stuff. That's what that short selling book I read talked about. And I think short selling's it was kind of interesting because things drop fast and rise slowly, so you kind of got to be precise. Yeah. That's what I need. That's what I need to build a good framework. Well, just give me an idea of like what sort of books are they that give you an edge. I'm thinking that if it's a book that gives you an edge, then it must be either some super obscure book or it must be really specific on a thing. Either way, yeah. So is that right? Are they obscure books? I think that's got to be the case. You found some obscure text. Because otherwise, if it's something everyone knew about, it couldn't be an edge. Unless, the other thing I'm thinking it could be is they could be really specific books. But if there's... it's got to be obscure. Oh. Features to use for LGBM market return model. Hey, well, maybe you don't want to say because your strategy, but Sir Night Night, what do you think about what I was thinking is, what's it called? I think it's a recursive. Oh, never mind. It said, I read neural nets are bad for the market. But it seems like a recursive neural net is exactly what you would want for the market. You just feed it in the new data every day. Lag features. Rolling window statistics. So how should we structure the features? Should it be a dictionary? You say the name of the feature, and then you say whatever characteristics you want. Real edges come through correct understanding of the market. Yeah, that's logical. Real edges are structural in the market. You have to understand the structure of the market and then develop some strategy around it. Structural. So what in the market is structural? Basically how the market works. And they're difficult as all get out to take advantage of. Yeah, I guess because if everyone or anyone can learn the structure of the market, you got to find something other people aren't looking at. And the other problem is you have a whole army of quants finding every edge, and then they arbitrage it away. But that's what I think makes the market so great. You have all these companies and stuff. And that's what makes it different from gambling to me, because you're really assessing the if a company is poorly valued, then you you find an edge and then it'll go away. Everyone else gets the edge. It'll crush the stock if it's poorly valued. It'll shoot it up if it's highly valued. I really think God likes you participating, being an active participant in the markets. I've thought before we should change the American idea. What is it in the Declaration of Independence? Everybody has a right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And I think the fourth right should be we all have a right to participate in free and fair markets. They should add that in there. Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Erase all of them. I already read them. Let me think. So what did I get? The book is useful. You need a structural edge. I'll write that down. Hey, and thanks for all the comments. It's super useful to get advice from someone who's been working on this for 3.5 years. This is actually the best thing about streaming, is the people come in and comment things to help. Financial Intelligence by Berman Knight Case. Quick, easy introduction to general corporate financial knowledge. Should mention this is purely on the fundamental. There go all Sir Night Knight's comments. Let me finish writing my note. Anyway, Sir Night Night, thanks a lot for the comments. It's so easy to get lost. And not only does it stop me from getting lost, or you're helping me out a lot, it's inspiring. Instead of hitting my head against the wall, people are commenting, here, try this, try that. It's super helpful. Adios for now. All right, Financial Intelligence by Berman Knight Case. Let's see, Financial Intelligence by Berman Knight Case. Are they gonna charge that one book? You know, people must be making money off of because they charge $44 for the Kindle. I've never seen anything like that. It was released in 2006. I bet it did great in 2008. Good reviews. Oops. $19 for the hardcover. Half the price. They don't even have a Kindle version. One left in stock. Cool, thanks. That's a good recommendation. Now I have 2 books to read. That's what I need. You know, I find I went a long time. I loved reading when I was a kid, and then I went a long time without reading at all. And I realized reading helps you think, and it helps you piece words together. Once I started reading again and I would talk to people, I found the words just flow from my head. And good words, too. You know, I realized I was becoming an idiot by not reading. Okay, so let's think about how to add the features. So let's I took my watch off. 2/6/2026. The Man Who Solved the Market by Zuckerman. Oh, I've heard of that. Yeah, people talk about that book a lot. Jim Simons is so cool. I've just seen that one famous YouTube video with him. By Zuckerman. Okay, there are no viewers right now, so I'm gonna take this opportunity to go make another coffee. Hey, buddy. Okay, I'm back. Yeah, it was the number files video. Um, I guess number file isn't that famous, but if you're a nerd, it's famous. Number file, they get a lot of views, but it's not. Anyway, number file, I love their videos. I haven't watched them in a while. Oh, so that's the key. Well, yeah, he was. Isn't he a PhD? He's a math PhD, right? That's the one. That's what I was so disappointed by in physics. Oh, you know what? That's not the case though, because the people that I think are dumb, they actually aren't in physics. So maybe physics you have to be smart, but math is the true one. There are no dumb people doing math PhDs. You mean in the number file video, he mentions differential geometry? I'm already lost. I don't know. I could piece that together. Differential geometry. I can't even conceive in my head of what that would be or what it would look like. What was I going to do here? Add a note. Today's the 6th. Okay, so 2/6/2026. What did I want to put the note on though? Oh, all possible features. The reason why he loves the differential equation is the same reason. Oh, that differential. What differential equation? There's a specific. Yeah, Veritasium. That used to be a good channel. I used to like it. I used to think this is basically PBS Nova. But then at some point, why did I think something made me stop watching the videos, and I don't remember why, but I started thinking this is dumb. I'm trying to stop watching YouTube. That's what I was saying about reading. I realized that the YouTube, you kind of you're skimming when you're watching videos. But reading's the only way to really go deep. He mentions differential geometry because it was the door that caused him to think about the markets differently. It was his light bulb moment. Yeah, well, I said you should just believe you're the smartest guy ever, but when it comes to like really advanced math stuff, well, I say that I think I might not be smart enough, but also the reason I kept going up so high in math is because I would get bad grades. In high school, I kept going up in math, and nobody went to even like whatever we did before calculus. I don't know what you call it, pre-calc or whatever. Nobody went to that class, and then I went to that class, and everyone there was AP'd or going to good colleges and stuff. I went to community college. No, that's not ironic at all. That makes perfect sense. Um, yeah, YouTube is just crap, and I'm assuming you say not in all caps because there's a bunch of tricks in there to get you. I think what they're doing is always trying to trick you to make money and trick you into doing something dumb. And what's the other thing? Oh, yeah, they do that in markets. I got fooled so many times when I started investing in, it was around 2017, and I would look up stocks to buy right now. And it would just be, Motley, what's that thing called? Motley Fool. And it's, here's 5 great stocks, but it's 5 crap stocks they want to offload. But, you live and you learn. I think that's another thing about markets is you got to get involved as early as possible, and it's all about time in the market. And you could go 10 years and not make any money, but the experience you gain is invaluable as long as you're not just doing bullshit. Okay, so let's go through and get a list of all possible features I might want. Oh, the other good thing about PowerPoints is at some point, once I get something good going here, and really, I can make a video. And this is what I do for work, is I put everything in a giant, massive PowerPoint. It becomes dozens, sometimes hundreds of pages. But then you have all these nice plots and stuff, so you can kind of bring it down into a single nice PowerPoint that's a few pages. And then, yeah, once I get something good with this model, then I'll go to then I could condense this down into a single PowerPoint and make a video explaining it concisely. And I don't need to go through and, get all the graphics I want. They're all sitting in here. Yeah. It's hard because YouTube's really, your phone is just so engaging, but like I used to spend way too much time on Instagram Reels, and then Instagram deleted my account. And I thought, this is the greatest thing that ever happened to me, because Instagram Reels, it's basically TikTok. I never downloaded TikTok because I didn't want to get addicted. And then Instagram got me. But, I'd watch it, 2 hours would pass. I'd start watching, I'd be like, oh, haha, that's funny. Or, think something's interesting or whatever. 2 hours pass, and I don't even know what happened. I can't articulate a single reel that happened. I don't know any. It's just like, yeah, you're basically giving your brain away to Instagram. It's really embarrassing. Show me all possible features that I could want to use for my LGBM model, training on stock data to predict returns. Also, show me all possible things that I may want to predict. For example, returns, probability of going up. It's a better way to say that, etc. Alright, so what could I want to look at? The thing I get lost on is, like in the last model, I was doing 5-day average return over the last 5 days or something like that. And it's like, how do you pick five? Like, the number of days seems arbitrary. It almost seems like that's something to tune the model on. But, that's, then what do I put in? A column for every single, 500 columns for up to 500 days or something. All right, let's read through this. And actually, AI used to scare me, and I refused to use it for like 2 years because everything I identify with is thinking. And I thought, that's going to take away my thinking. But this stuff is great for thinking. It helps you think so much. It's like, it's almost like being able to talk to a book or something. And speaking of which, I've become totally convinced that I realized that, the computing power goes into training the model. It doesn't really go into running the model. You can get, what's that Chinese model that came out a year ago? Anyway, you can make a really small model. They probably just stole the weights of a model. They thought Buddy wanted it. But anyway, so all the computing power is going. Your brain has so much computing power that the AI is not going to become superhuman until until the model is using the same computing power to run as your brain's using. But your brain's so condensed that I don't think there's any way to do that. you have to make a brain to do it, an artificial brain. Sir Night Night, exactly about what? Yeah, DeepSeek. That's what I was thinking of. So until the models are using the same computing power, not to train, until they're using the same computing power to think as your brain, it's never going to beat a human. So AI bubble is real, and I'm going to figure out a way to bet against it. All right, this is a comprehensive breakdown of features and targets suitable for LGBM. Since LightGBM is a tree-based model, it does not require scaling like neural networks do, but it struggles with non-stationary data. Struggles with non-stationary data? Oh. Raw prices. Okay. I was going to say. Then it struggles with everything. Target variables, what to predict. The target is what you're, regression targets, forward end day return, forward volatility. Yeah, I mean, that's got to be the case. That your brain, I don't know, is there an estimate? How much compute does it take to run I don't know, Gemini, not to train? Let's say most advanced AI model. Wait, what? By the billionaires and oligarchs? And really by the billion? Yeah. There's a delay in the chat, so I see the comments after I say stuff. Or there's a delay in the stream. No delay in the chat. So I see the comments after I say stuff, and I forget what it's a response to. Running the most advanced AI models requires significant, obviously. Single pass on a 175 billion parameter model requires roughly 350 teraflops. I don't know. I don't remember what a teraflop is. What the fuck is a teraflop? Computing flop. Oh, floating point operations per second. So human brain, and that's floating point operations. So that's kind of like, say, human brain flops. Estimates for the human brain's computational capacity. 10 to the 13. What is tera? Tera is one more than giga, which is one more than mega. Mega is 10 to the 6, 10 to the 9, 10 to the 12. Oh. Estimates for the human brain's computational capacity. So it's top language models are, maybe I'm wrong about this, 350 teraflops. Human brain can do is somewhere between 10 to the 13 to 10 to the 25. So I guess it's a great mystery. I guess we'll find out. Maybe AI will be how we find out if it gets up to way more teraflops than say AI gets to 10 to the 16 teraflops, then you could say, and it still isn't superhuman, you could say the brain must be at more. So I guess it's So I guess the constraint is training. How many flops to train a language model? Yeah. Vibe coding, well, I don't know. Vibe coding, I think, is going to be really good for exactly the reason you say. You can step into something. But then you need to vibe code, I think what I'm doing basically is vibe coding because I'm getting it to help me write the model. But at the end of the day, I still think the limit with coding is if you don't understand what the code's doing, then I guess you're prone to mistakes. So it needs some way to do. The models need to get good enough at coding so that it never makes a mistake. But then, is that ever gonna happen? Uh, yeah. And then it comes back to you, how well can you articulate yourself to the AI? Even if it's perfect at coding, it comes back to you being able to think. So you got to be smart. You got to read. That's the point of AI. It's augmenting people. Yes, I totally agree. Are you using AI to help? I that's exactly what I think. That's why I'm optimistic about AI. That's what I always say is um, you can step into a field that you're not used. I mean, you can learn rapidly about it. I can't even believe how much I've learned in the last probably 6 weeks since I started this project. The rate of my learning is so much faster with AI. What is okay? Back to this. So but then if that's as good as AI gets, is augmenting people to do things, then we're in an AI bubble because the AI bubbles. Uh, the whole thesis is throw hordes of cash at training, and if you throw hordes of cash at training, then superhuman intelligence will pop out of the next generation of models. That's the thesis, as I understand it. Tell me if I'm wrong. Um, and if that's the case, the next models are coming out by the end of the year. The Blackwell, that's what it's called. The NVIDIA Blackwell chips are coming out in April. And what's that guy's name? Jensen Huang. He says that they're going to give them to XAI because nobody can scale as quickly as Elon. Um, and yeah, they did something. XAI did something crazy where they announced a data center and then it was built in a month. Um, and yeah, so all that to say, the next generation of models is going to come out by the end of the year. And if it's not superhuman intelligence or some gigantic, obvious, useful improvement over this generation of models, then the AI bubble will pop. So that's one of my goals, is position myself for that. Get out of my Bitcoin trade in time to bet against the AI bubble. I still think we need a labor movement in this country. We need to restrict companies from completely laying off huge swaths of people and excluding people from building wealth. My proclivities are to be an anarcho-capitalist. I think, but I also see the argument from the other side because I really think let it burn. You need to let it burn, but then if you let it burn, if everything burns up and everyone loses jobs, there's going to be massive unrest and an overthrow of the government. And I don't know, the people are going to blow up the data centers. And it'll be the Soviet Union, but instead of taking property, they're going to seize the data centers. And so you gotta, we need something for that. I really think I've come full circle, and I think if that does happen, I think let the mass layoffs happen, let everything burn. But if that does happen, you need some sort of universal basic income system. But you need it so that people are incentivized to not be lazy. You need a. It all comes back to you need people to think. Because if everyone was thinking, and I don't know, you're also limited by your IQ. Like if somebody has 80 IQ, they can't think as good. And in capitalism, you go, well, you get less money, and that's fair because you want to reward the super high IQ people for doing stuff. I don't know what I'm talking about. Um, I'm just rambling. That's going to be the big problem to solve, though, coming up. And also robotics is, uh, because the AI is all software. As soon as the robotics get good enough to automate everything, nobody's going to have a job. There's not going to be anything to do. The jobs are going away. That's kind of how I'm trying to position myself. That's why I chose a job that makes no money. Um, but focuses on kind of cutting edge stuff because that's the only place that I think will be useful. Anarcho-capitalism. Yeah. Well, that's true. I'm not an anarcho-capitalist. That's kind of my like my core, what I always go back to. It's like what I fall back on. That's my core intuition. But I definitely agree. That's what happens is it leads to perversion of utilities in government. Um, do we have anarcho-capitalism now? Well, definitely. It's like I definitely think the United States is I don't know what the word is, co-opted or controlled by um, international capital. Definitely controls the United States. And all this stuff like you see in geopolitics happening, it's like the big thing with that Canada, all the bankers, Jay Carney, the PM of Canada, he's a banker. And all the bankers, and I mean, you see it with Trump. He basically was donated to by everyone that donated to Trump is he's now beholden to them and doing what they want. Um, Not only that, but um, that's certainly a huge factor. And all the money people gave money to Trump. And anyway, all that to say, the U.S. And the Canada and all the bankers, all they're trying to do is get access to, or not all they're trying to do, but they are all trying really hard to get access to private Chinese savings. And you see what happens in the U.S. Not nobody has savings, but debt is at an all-time high, and it's bad for normal people to have huge credit card debt, but it's good for capitalists and it's good for the market if nobody has savings and they all pour it into the market. And you see it in like this misinformation stuff. It's like that's part of why I think interest rates drop to zero so that you can't make money in your savings account. And I can't believe how in my lifetime, when I was a little kid, you learn, I was raised by fiscally conservative parents, so it's you only spend what you need, and you put money away into your savings account, and or buy gold. Um, but none of my friends or most of my friends weren't raised by with that philosophy, and so then that changed in the 2010s. All of a sudden, the a paradigm became don't put your money in a savings account or gold, put your money in the S&P 500. And look, the S&P 500 beats savings accounts and it's like who came up with that idea? I wonder who is, influencing that. Put your money in the S&P 500, not in a savings account. That's also prudent if the floor falls out of the dollar, but put money in, like, why can't we just gain interest on gold. Put gold in a savings account, a gold account. That's what the paradigm needs to be. One thing that Trump did was really good is that savings account for kids. Well, you could say that, but then again, maybe that's just a thousand. How many babies are born in the U.S.? Sorry, I'm not focusing really well. Yeah. Well, anyway, that whole baby fund thing. So 3.6 million babies. If we do an investment fund of $1,000 for each of them, that's pouring billions of dollars into the market every year. So that, I don't know, I just said it was good, but you could also say the lot's just him doing another thing that all the capitalists who elected him wanted him to do. Hey, pour an extra $3 billion into the market every year from the U.S. government. And then the U.S. government bought like 20% of Intel, I went, what the hell is this? And that is literally fascism. Isn't it? Isn't fascism the government controls business? In which case you could say Cuba's fascism, because I just saw somewhere the Cuban government has a controlling interest in every business. So isn't that fascism and not communism? And what is the difference between fascism and communism? That's what I always get confused by. Everyone can easily define capitalism. You can easily define communism. How the hell do you define fascism? Sometimes I think that's just some phrase people came up with. All right, target variables, what to predict. Because Nazi Germany, they always say, was fascist. Well, that seems socialist, and the Nazis were the Socialist Party. All right, let's focus. Forward end day return. Forward volatility. Predicting risk rather than direction. Okay, so we have this function to add features. We want another function to add targets. Add target. And then valid targets equals that. Forward volatility. All right, back to the PowerPoint. We need to get ahead of robotics like our lives depended on it. The last thing you want is a rich person who has his own army of Terminators. Yeah, that's so true. I remember when the Ukraine war started and all the videos came out of the drones dropping bombs on guys. That's the most... And then they put it over like Ukrainian dance music. It's like do, do, do. And then it's just some guy getting blown up. Some poor Russian serf. It's like the most evil shit I've seen. It's just so dystopian. Forget anything about who you think the good or bad guy is. Having humans getting grenades dropped on them by drones. Oh my god. Yeah, I think I agree. I agree with that too. Well, yeah, it's just there's no way to get ahead of robotics. I don't think we're going to get ahead of it. Well, as long as the financial people control everything, we can't get ahead of robotics because they want robotics. Then they can... What's that thing they said at the... the Davos forum? Who's that weird guy that everyone hates? He's like the head of the WEF. Klaus Schwab. That's what it is. Oh, former head of the WEF. Look at him. He just looks crazy. And, but he's an engineer. I always think you want to trust engineers. Maybe they just say that to make them seem good, to fool people like me. But anyway, remember he says, you will own nothing and be happy. That was like the theme of the World Economic Forum one year. You'll own nothing and be happy. It's a tricky conversation topic to navigate, a lot of the pros cons for both sides. Despite all the benefits, net negative for worsened education. What does that mean? Oh, for AI? The benefits of what? UBI? AI? Which benefits are you referring to in your last, or 2 comments ago, Josh? That's the point of crypto, government control, and financial surveillance. Do you really think so? Crypto, you could say, generally, like all the cryptos that aren't Bitcoin, the whole point is government control. But then the whole point of Bitcoin is to have some money that you can send anywhere in the world and nobody can control it. Only you have the key in your head. If you have the key in your head, nobody can take your money from you. They have to torture you and get it out of you. That's the only way to get the your key. Unless you make the argument that all the blockchain sleuths, what do they call that? Blockchain analysis. You could find someone's Bitcoin through blockchain. I guess I haven't looked that well into it because I found out about that argument. You can do a blockchain analysis and see, oh, this guy sent money here, then you could find this account. Who does that belong to? You can find who the Bitcoin accounts belong to, and then it becomes government control. Well, Bitcoin had a rough PR deal when the Epstein files were released. That was a week ago today. And what was it? Epstein was telling all these people to get Bitcoin, and whatever that guy is into, whatever his deal was, how did he have, did you watch that interview that was released of him with Steve Bannon? And Epstein, you see, he doesn't even know anything. The guy's just like, he seems like a moron. But somehow he's involved in everything. He's involved in everything that's going on in the markets. And so that makes it seem obvious that Jeffrey Epstein is just some agent who's doing stuff. It seems like, for the financial overlords we have. Anyway, hard for conversations to not turn into politics. Yeah, well, I don't know, but then, everything kind of relates to politics. It's like politics and economics relate to everything. It's just, the problem, I think, is that the politics that gets shoved in our face is all left versus right crap, so that you don't look at what's really going on and you just focus on, I hate those guys. And that's just all crap. Who wrote a book on the fourth turning? He wrote a book on the fourth turning. Who, Epstein? Did he? Think about it this way. Do you think governments really want that? Want what? Oh. Oh, good. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. Let me know if something goes wrong on with my mic. Also, sometimes my screen freezes, and then people will like tune in and immediately leave, and then sometimes someone comments, "Your screen's frozen." Anyway. Klaus Schwab wrote a book on the fourth turning. What's the fourth turning? It's the I think the fourth, because they say there have been 3 industrial revolutions, right? And the fourth turning is the 4th industrial revolution, which is AI and robotics and crypto. All I know is that stuff's all the mark of the beast. They say the mark of the beast. What is the characteristics of the mark of the beast? Mark of the beast is supposed to be the mark of Satan. Satan's coming, and if you have the mark of the beast, you're not going to be saved when Jesus comes back. The rapture happens. So you want to avoid the mark of the beast. And what do they say the mark of the beast is? It's like you need it to engage in commerce. Believe I've become religious in the last year, but I'm not like a traditional religious guy, but I was raised Catholic, so I go back to my Catholic roots. And Mark of the Beast is a symbolic or literal sign of allegiance to an anti-Christian oppressive power. And my interpretation of Christianity is just as simple as God is love. And if you love yourself, you're industrious. If you love God, God is love and reality. If you love God, you love reality, and you want to get at the real reality. So I'm saying this is a symbolic or literal sign of allegiance to an anti-Christian, so anti-reality, anti-love, oppressive power, enforced on the right hand or forehead. Oh, well, that sounds like the fucking what's it called? Neuralink. That's damn Neuralink. It acts as a prerequisite for economic. Forehead, that's where your frontal lobe is that controls your, isn't your frontal lobe right here? And that controls your power of decision making. Like they say ADD is your frontal lobe is underdeveloped. It acts as a prerequisite for the economic participation. Yeah, so that sounds like crypto. And signifies loyalty to the Antichrist. Who lots of people think Elon Musk is the Antichrist. The problem with the Antichrist is it says it seems like Jesus is coming back in the rapture. And so before Christ comes back, the Antichrist comes back. And the Antichrist seems like Christ. That's confusing. Anyway, that's just going to be, we're going to have Neuralink in our foreheads, and you're going to have a chip, your crypto chip and ID and everything's going to be in your hands so you can scan it. Anyway, I try to stay away from all that crap, but I don't know, crypto I'm sold on. I'm a Bitcoin guy because Bitcoin came around and it seemed like everything we want, but then that's the Antichrist. How confusing. I don't know. I go back and forth on it. If they can trace everything, that's we're doomed to hell. But that's why you got to not worry about money. Beyond what you need. Oh, do you really think governments really want you to have that type of autonomy with your money? No. They definitely don't want you to have that type of autonomy. But, that's the whole pitch of Bitcoin is you have what are they called? That group of people who started in the 80s. Damn, what are they called? They're like pirates. They called themselves pirates or something. Crypto pirates or something. And they kept trying. There are all these like basically cryptocurrencies that people tried to start for 20 years, and they either didn't work or they'd get crushed by the government. And then Bitcoin happened, and it's the one that didn't get crushed. Well, if it's the one that didn't get crushed, maybe they wanted you to use Bitcoin. But then they do so many things that seem like the U.S. government for a long time did so many, basically until Trump did so many things that seemed anti-Bitcoin. Trump, does some things that are pro-Bitcoin, but it's really so he can squeeze the money out. Or in my opinion, just look at Trump coin, that thing. Anyway, that's, you could really make an argument either way on Bitcoin. I think I'm a fence sitter on this one. Fourth turning is the economy to come. Smoke and mirrors. What does that mean? That it's not going to come? The fourth turning is all a big trick. Purpose of the Ten Commandments was to teach you how to love. You can link each. Yeah, yeah, that's totally true. That's what I thought. That's why I stopped when I went to what's it called, CCD. It's Catholic like education and stuff. Um, my assessment now of that is that I didn't have any teachers who really taught me well, who didn't have a passion for it or understand it. They're kind of just following a dogma. And I remember asking, like they always say, "Oh, you have to have faith," and I say, "Okay, well, how do I pick what to have faith?" I remember I asked my teacher in second grade. I said, "How do you know what to have faith in? What, you know, how do you know you're not having faith in the wrong thing?" And then instead of giving some succinct, strong argument or something, she goes, "Oh, well, Jesus said heaven's like a gold mine, and once you find out about it, you'd do anything to get to the gold." It's like I was talking to these people. I sat near a missionary group on a plane one time, and I was asking them religious stuff, and the girl says, "Here's how." I basically asked her the same question about faith, and she says, "Here's how it was put to me that convinced me. If you filled Texas with ping pong balls and you colored one of them red, the probability of this not being true is the same probability as finding the red ping pong ball." And I was like, I can't believe that convinced you. What a stupid argument. And so anyway, all this stuff kind of turned me off to religion. And then there are the paradoxes. The paradox of this is the one true religion, and well, how do you know the other religions aren't true? And then I took a religions class in college, and I learned about Hinduism and Buddhism and all that stuff. And I realized, I was like, in Hinduism, and Buddhism just comes from Hinduism. They have a lot of the same sort of ideas. In Hinduism, it's all about the Brahma. I think that's Hinduism and not Buddhism. I might be mixing them up. And then Brahma is reality. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. I find that a lot more convincing. And then I started, like a little over a year ago, maybe it was probably like 2 years ago now. My ex-girlfriend in our apartment, she had a Satan head there. And when we moved in and she put it up, I said, "Could you please not have that Satan head there? I don't like that." Um, I wasn't even religious at the time. I just was like, that seems bad. And, she was like, "Oh, my grandma got it and it's a piece of art." And I really like art, so I said, "Oh, I can't go against art. It's just," I was a materialist at the time, and I was like, "Oh, okay." Um, but then I swear, I think that the belief I developed was that Satan was in there, or a demon or something, and it was fucking with me, and I could feel it fucking with me. I could feel it looking at me. There's all sorts of things that happened. I thought, that's Satan's fucking with me here. That devil head that was in the cabinet. And I swear I could feel its eyes on me. I would always, when I would work out, that was by where I worked out, and I would block it because I just could feel it. It's like this thing that's inexplicable from like the spiritual realm. And then, what am I blabbing about? What's the point of all this? I guess how I became religious again. So then I thought, in Marcus Aurelius, he talks about like the command center and stuff. And are you going to bed? Nighty night. Blabbing. Just blabbing. Are you going to bed, Dad? Oh. good night, Dad. Yeah. It might just be because it sounds bad. It doesn't have the same ring to it. Yeah, yeah, I thought it might be a loophole like that. Anyway, good night. I had to say goodnight to my parents. Yeah, the Satan head was crazy. Should I start a Discord? I don't even know. People talk about Discords. I joined a Discord once to buy, so I could have the Mark of the Beast on me, so because I wanted to buy NFTs. But I don't know how to do that. How to start a Discord. What even happens in there? It's like a place where you can, I guess the messages get saved so they don't go away for all time. Um, Anyway, blah, blah, blah about religion. Then the thing that, made it all kind of come together is like, on my own, I kind of developed the belief that all you have to do is love. And I used to think it was love and hard work, but then I thought, no, if you love yourself, of course you'll work hard and engage in the world. So you can kind of boil it all down to love. And then if you start thinking of God, I started thinking of God as just basically reality and love. And then I went, okay, well that solves all the contradictions of one religion being true. The question is, how can one religion be true? Well, if it's, these religions are kind of describing the same thing. They're describing reality and or they're describing love. And if it's a religion that doesn't, promote something other than love and reality, then that's a false religion. But, calling it Christianity, the Catholic Church, all this stuff, big institutions, I don't think God, all that stuff is made by people. If you just boil it down to really love, and if you love God, if God is reality and love. Oh, the other thing I came up with is I was thinking about ghosts and stuff. I started believing in ghosts and spirits and energy living in buildings and stuff. Like if a murder happens, there's negative energy there. Imagine a page with multiple tabs that can be used for chatting, voice chat, sharing video. What? How does it do all of that in one? I don't know. I'll look it up. Yeah. Well, since you suggested that, I'll start it, and then even if it's just the three of us, it could start growing from there. Then I could put it in the description and stuff. It would be good. And also the other thing about Christianity is all the rules associated with it. I thought, God doesn't want you to follow so many rules. But then, just like you said, night, yeah, atheists do believe in ghosts. Isn't that funny? They say like, oh, what really turned me back onto religion was like that the common paradigm was people go, oh, religion's stupid, God is stupid, and it's people who are raised atheists. And I would always think, you have no right to even think this. Like, that's a valid thing to think if someone was raised, in a religion, and then you go, I reject this, I'm an atheist. But if you never even get into a religion or develop religious ideas or anything, how can you possibly say with any confidence you don't even know what you're talking about? And so that you can always tell, I think, in your heart of hearts when you're talking to someone and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. And that made me hate it. The other thing, the Satan head is crazy. The other thing that was really crazy about my ex-girlfriend was one time I was riding my bike and she was riding her electric scooter, and we're going up to my work, and she used to not work, and then she started working, but her money never went to anything useful like rent or food. It went to herself and her debt. But that's another story. That just makes me mad, so I fixate on it. And anyway. Um, the other crazy thing that happened was, we were going up the street, riding up in the bike lane in Baltimore, and we go by the Baltimore Cathedral. This place, which was on my bike route, and we go by the Baltimore Cathedral. I think it was the first. It's the first cathedral in America. And we went by that, and across from that is the archdiocese. And she turned to the archdiocese and went, "Fuck you!" And I was like, "That's exactly what a demon would do. That's like what the, the I don't know what you call it. The mythology is a demon hates signs of God." And it's like, oh, the Catholic archdiocese. And it's not like she was raised religious. She's, exactly one of those people I was talking about. It's not like she was raised Catholic and had some bad experience that made her do that. It was a demon. That's what a demon would do. Fuck you! Anyway. That stuff made me religious. And I felt like I was inhabited by demons being around her. I think demons like jump from people to people. But, now some people would say I'm in kooky land. Oh, but the thing with the spirits being stuck in a place, then I developed the idea that heaven, all the questions about heaven you could answer. If heaven is just like the realm of love, or you die and then your consciousness is basically, it keeps existing, but it's left without a body. And once you don't have a body, you can't interact with the world, and you're stuck as you are. And so if you've lived a life where you've been angry and hateful the whole time, and your consciousness exists forever on its own, then you're stuck in, that's hell. That seems like hell. There's nothing to, when you're being hateful and angry, you need some like good experience with other people and something good to happen, and you kind of get out of it. And then if your life's over and you're just stuck being hateful for all of eternity, that seems like hell. And if you've lived a life full of love, and you're stuck with love for all of eternity, that seems like heaven. And then what's the other thing? Somehow I related that to spirits. I developed that belief by believing in ghosts. I think it's because I think somebody had some conscious had some like terrible experience there, then they're kind of trapped. Luciferians reject all symbols of authority. That's interesting. The problem is like there's good authority and bad authority, and then bad authority, you should go fuck you to our financial overlords. We should go fuck you, and the robots, we should go fuck you. But those are fake signs of authority. The Antichrist, it's all just like this spiritual battle. And I think you have to be careful with the terminology, because if somebody is convinced that like Christianity's bullshit, if you start talking about the Antichrist and demons and God and stuff, they go, "Oh, this guy's a religious kook." And so those people, to convince them, it's like you have to put it in a way that makes sense to them, which is why I think you just put it in terms of love. You just have to love. That's you have to love, and you have to love reality. Night, Josh. I got to get back to business. I started blabbing. That's kind of my problem. If I ever get a decent amount of viewers and there's a bunch of comments in the chat, that'll be my main problem, is focusing. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, Josh. Thanks for the book recommendations, too. Okay, target variables. I think I probably blabbed for an hour. But I just love ideas. I love spilling out the ideas I have. And, the stream's really good for getting feedback on stuff like that. Because if you have some kooky idea, people go, "Oh, that's kooky." But then if smart people are telling you, yeah, And that's so interesting what you said, Sir Knight Knight, about the 10 commandments are all love. I've thought the same exact thing because I'm opposed to complicated rule sets. I always want to. That's why I like physics. I always want to boil things down to a single equation, like or Maxwell's equations. All of electromagnetism is explained by 4 equations. Okay, blah blah blah. The target is what your model, and I think God. And actually, that's probably the first thing that turned me back to God. Is they say there's this like common belief everyone says, which is science is opposed to religion. That's always what you hear. Science is opposed to religion. If you're a scientist, you're an atheist. But then you read about all the scientists, in the 1800s and the 1900s, and Einstein said, I believe in God, and it's Spinoza's God, which is just reality. And they're all trying to get at God. They're all trying to define God. And then the best thing about atheists is then they, when they talk about the simulation theory, and it's like, that's God. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. Forward end day return. Okay, so make this here. Stretch it out. All possible features. I guess that should go here because there's more space. And then all possible targets. Okay, so forward returns, and the forward returns for the next day, the next week, and the next month. Forward volatility. Oh. I guess I don't need to say day, week, month. Okay, so then here, forward return. Oh, dang it. Oh, whatever. Forward return. Forward volatility. And forward Sharpe ratio. Residual return. The return of the stock minus the return of the SPY. Oh. Hey, if anyone viewing knows how to fix this in PowerPoint, I would really appreciate it because it's a big pain in the butt. Every time I do a list, I have to do that copy and delete. Classification targets. Oh, okay. Okay, so I want to add everything that there could possibly be into the model before I finish the class. And that way I can really explore everything without having to, add things in later. Because once I get to the exploring phase, I don't want to be writing a lot of code. I just want to test things out. basically just write code to test. So classification targets, binary direction. Up or down. We have binary threshold. We have multi-class regime, i.e. up versus bear versus bowl versus chop. Damn it, I did it again. Triple barrier. Label based on what happens first. Hits profit take, hits stop loss. Well, that's sounds like a portfolio strategy. Ranking targets. Damn, really. Let me look that up. PowerPoint, go up a level in list. Oh, shift tab, that's it. Okay. My years-long question has been answered. And then finally, ranking targets. Okay, all possible features. There are no viewers, so I'm going to take this opportunity to go to the bathroom and get a Dr. Pepper. And put on a sweatshirt. Hi, buddy. Good boy. Good boy. Okay. So, all possible features. Price momentum. One day. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 day. Okay, I could dig into that next. Rate of change. So I could just say percent change over different time periods. Velocity. What does it mean, velocity / acceleration? Those are two different things. Difference between the 5-day rate of change ROC is that. Velocity acceleration, difference between two diff rates of change. Now if I put rate of change into the model, like if it's training on 3-day rate of change and 20-day rate of change, I think it should, this is where I get confused. These things are all calculated from prices. So shouldn't you be able to put prices into the model and then it would kind of solve for what's useful? Okay. Need a sublist here. SMA versus EMA. Moving average crossovers, Bollinger Band, slope. Okay. Now volatility features. We have historical volatility, ATR ratio. Fuck does that mean? range ratio, gap size. Volume and liquidity. Holy shit, there's a lot of features. But that's what I want. Liquidity. RVOI. RVOI. Oh, that's RVol. Relative volume, we'll just say. Volume trend, dollar volume, VWAP, distance. Then we have technical oscillators. RSI, histogram, what's MACD? Stochastic oscillator. Average directional index. Statistical. First exponent, not bold. First exponent, skewness, kurtosis, z-score, autocorrelation. Then calendar/time. Okay, let's change this to be 2 columns. All right, calendar/time, month, day, whatever, month, day, day of week, quarter end is a bool. Oh, I forgot no one's here anymore, but the other thing is George Boole. All the Boolean and stuff is all trying to, he was specifically trying to get at God. Relative/cross sectional. Relative strength, sector, momentum. So this is, if I write each of these as a method, the file's going to be huge, so I might have to break it into separate things. Beta. Good, we're almost done. And rank. Okay. So I think that's going to be it for today. Let's do a summary of what I did. Let's call this features and targets. Formats. Here I could say started working on model, got list of features and targets to get. Next, do exhaustive search to see if I'm missing any features / targets, and start incorporating methods for each into model class. So before really I could do anything with the model, I have to focus on features and targets. So, but it's it's not February 4th. Oh, it's the 6th still here because I'm on East Coast time. Not 6 days behind. I'm 2 days behind still. Oh no, because this is finished. So this I'm supposed to, so now I'm only 1 day behind because I'm working on the model. But pretty soon I'm going to be 3 days behind. So here I removed unnecessary code. And what else did I do? Got universe data to match output of get data v4.py. Clean tests. Okay, so next stream I'm gonna look through and make sure that I have all possible features and targets that I could want, and then I'm gonna start working on building methods for each of those, calculating each of those. So that's it for now. And maybe that will be actually not too hard, just doing that on Pandas data frame. There's got to be a library for that. So, yeah, maybe this won't be as hard as I was thinking. I hope it's not. Anyway, is there anything else? No, I think that's it. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for watching. Subscribe if you thought this was interesting. Also, if you thought this was interesting, go to my GitHub and star the repository. And you could download this. I'm going to be... let's add another one. I'm going to clean this up so there's not a gajillion files in here. Yeah, so you could go get the repository here. And I'm going to be updating it. Please star the repository. That'll help me raise my coding profile. I'm going to start a Discord at the suggestion of Sir Night Night, because we had a really interesting discussion, but also I was poorly focused for quite a while. So Discord would be a good place to talk about things. Yeah, so I'll join that when I make it. And tune in next time. That's it for now. Thanks for watching. Adios.